Hi, Claire.
Hi, Melissa.
I'm so grateful that you are willing to share with me today your experience, because I was going to share your experience behind your back and show slides, but it's so much more real when we can have her here with us. So I met you, I think it was 2016. And it was at first, I didn't start seeing you one-on-one until 2017, but you came to me with your daughter, Kelly.
Yes.
So I'm gonna tell a little bit of her story too. Do you remember when you first came, maybe just kind of briefly, what brought you and Kelly here?
Well, Kelly had been on, tons of medicine for her ulcerative colitis. And a friend of mine suggested that we come to see you. And I didn't know anything about Chinese medicine or Qigong or but I was willing to try anything to help her. So that's what we did. And she's not on any of her prescription medicines anymore.
That was almost immediate.
It was.
Yeah,
it was.
She was so sensitive and ready.
Yeah, she was.
A big change.
So then I think, didn't she do a dragons?
She did, yeah. So Kelly does seasonal work. So she'd be here in Indiana. I would catch her whenever I could, and then she would be in not Colorado. She was in Montana. And so we did what we could long distance, but she really dove into. She realized, so with the ulcerative colitis, it became this barometer. Like when she was in a good state, she was fine. But the moment she did something, like she pushed the stress, so she's young, so it's tough, for someone who's in her 20s to be like, okay, I can't do the things that everybody else does. But it gave her this greater awareness of connection to her body and her experience, because if she got a little bit off the wagon, it was like, that's it. But when she kept her energy strong, took her herbs, did her practice, was really aware of not doing things that would drain her, she was fine. She's absolutely fine, not requiring medication. So so she did do the dragon. We did Dragon's Way Qigong. She's done a lot of the Qigong practices. And I'd say that's basically been her story, that it's just gone more deeper and deeper and deeper, because the more that she's connected into this, the more she recognizes the bigger picture of it all, right?
She's really got it. I mean,
there are no accidents.
There are no accidents. And it shows up all the time.
Yeah. Can you remember anything from I remember so many cute little pictures you two have sent me, like doing their Qigong on a road trip or something like that. The things that align and show up.
Yes. I don't know what.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. One of the things that's just popping up to share though is that Kelly just got married.
Yes. 2 days ago.
Like that was literally really, just got married.
Really pretty stressful. But
would you notice that being in this process, and we'll kind of circle back to you, because I've been seeing you since 2017 more intensively one-on-one, but both of you being in this, even though it was stressful, did you notice that there was a different way that you could connect into the experience, or that you could more quickly see how to change your outlook on the more stressful things that were showing up, having a wedding during COVID?
Well, I became more aware of, and this is an ongoing process, of everything around me. I mean, my daughter, all my relationships. I'm just more aware of, in tune to my body and how it really connects with everything else, the universe and the weather. And I just have to, I'm trying to let go of things that aren't that important, and not hold grudges, and just be more aware of everything around me.
Yeah, and you have that. You have been. It's like those old patterns that we have that suck us in. I mean, we're always going to have those. It's just a matter of becoming aware of, like, you catch yourself and you realize, oh yeah, I have a choice and I don't have
Yes.
to do it that way. And I would say that that has been one of the most powerful shifts you've made. So when I first started seeing you in 2017, I think I had only seen you a few times, and it was like, oh, I got some aching knees and a little bit of foot pain. And then it was in February, I got this crazy, and I'm sure we'll hook this into this interview, this text from Claire of a foot x-ray with an exploded bone on the outside. So if this was the foot, the metatarsal bone in the fifth metatarsal in the foot, and you just like got out of bed and it exploded. Like, what the heck?
Well, it was a high bed while I was on vacation. It was a big old bed, but yes, just snapped it in two.
Yeah. So you came back and you saw an orthopedist, and it was like,
Yes, he was talking about having to put pins and plates and wires that would have to stick out of my toe.
That's right.
So I decided that I didn't really want to go that route at that point.
So in it, timing wise, there are no accidents. I was starting Digesting the Universe like that week. You had already done Dragon's Way, and I was like, and you're like, oh, I was like, I think you need to do that class. And you're like, are you sure? I'm like, I couldn't be more sure that the timing is right.
Well, and really, it was incredible that, I mean, the whole thing is the body can heal itself.
Right.
And it really did
in 3 months. So I literally have the x-ray, and it's almost exactly 3 months after that initial x-ray, and you can see it's dramatic. But I can remember the other piece that's interesting, and if you can recall this, about halfway through your process. So when she initially came, she was like, had the scooter, completely non-weight bearing, one of those big, giant, heavy boots. And halfway through the process, the orthopedist you were seeing he kind of turned on you. Mm-hmm. And you had this really constellation of no accidents that led you to get a second opinion. So that was like at the midway point. Do you remember that?
Yes. This surgeon told me, or physician told me, to stay off my foot.
The first one, yeah.
For 6 weeks. And to avoid the surgery and not do anything. And when I went back after 6 weeks, he says, well, you should have had surgery 6 weeks ago. And if you had done this, we wouldn't be where we are now. And he took an x-ray and he said it hadn't healed. So I went to get a second opinion. And he said it was healing and I had a lot of new growth, and that he never would have suggested surgery in the first place. Mm-hmm. So,
and he popped you out of that boot too. If I recall, you
yes.
came in with one of those little shoes after that, and was like, you need to be weight bearing.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's so cool that like you opened up into this process, because it can be so scary when you're in a situation like that. I mean, it's your foot, right? It's your foundation. It's your foot. But the alignment of, beginning this practice and really going within to support healing, and then having from the outside at the same time an orthopedist that really better aligned with that healing path, that, I think those two things
right.
together was like perfect.
Right.
The other piece that I want to call you out on that circles us back to what I was speaking on before is those patterns that all of us have from time to time that suck us from our deeper inner knowing. And for you, it's that busy that we were just talking about this, how you know what you need to do to take care of yourself, but you can take that self-care, and whenever anything comes into line, it's like, no, I need to do this first. So, but that's something that, you really have tuned into and become very aware of, because it's like, it's like the moment that you start to get sucked into that, and then all of a sudden it's like, my knee's blowing up again. What's starting to ache?
Yes, that is true. That is true. But I have a hard time delegating to anybody else, and I want to make sure that everybody else is good and taken care of. And so that's all about the letting go part. And I find that if I don't take care of myself and I feel like I have to do everything, it's such a frustrating feeling that I feel like I get nothing done,
Right.
because I'm so overwhelmed. And then when I let things go, and it's like, oh gosh, my life is so much happier, and I'm healthier, and I'm able to really see the whole picture of.
Right.
'Cause I think it's so easy to get wrapped up in just doing everything all the time,
Mm-hmm.
that you forget about yourself. And that's when, like you said, my knee blows up, and
It's just trying to tell you.
yeah.
It's like you missed the first memo.
Yes.
Yeah, and another more tender point. It was actually right before I was going to present your case.
Oh yes.
When I was in Washington D.C. at a conference, and Grandmaster Wu, who created the Dragon's Way Qigong and Digesting the Universe, was speaking. And he was talking about the kidney, and he was talking about the foot, and he was talking about the bones, and he was talking about fractures, and he's in particular with the foot. He's like, it's like, in terms of a spiritual level, it's about learning how to stand on your own 2 feet. So there's so many levels. It's like standing your ground. It's getting centered. It's owning your foundation and not taking on too much, and lots of levels. Yes. And it's it's a forever journey, but when you open up to this level, wouldn't you say it's so much more magical? And
yes. I mean, you're a happier, healthier person, I think, when I do that, when I'm aware of everything else around me.
When you can
And what
connect
I
to the
should be
big
doing.
picture.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just
for
have to be
sharing with
reminded
me.
sometimes.
Yes, we all need to be reminded sometimes. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Any final words?
No, I'm just so grateful that I found Melissa, and it's made a big change in my life, truly.
And it's super cool. I mean, for anyone out there who's contemplating diving into Dragon's Way Qigong or Digesting the Universe, when you bring along a buddy, like if you've got someone, you got to have somebody who's open first. Don't try to pull them along if they're not there. But the alignment of you and Kelly on this journey has been really special for you as a mother and a daughter. I also presented her case when I was there, and it was very cool because, a lot of the things for both of you are related to the kidney, and the kidney is inheritance. So it's like there are things that you share together that are part of your mutual journey. And as you do your own inner work and healing, and she does her own, you both benefit.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
That's good.
All right. Thank you very much, Claire.
Thank you, Melissa.